For this problem, notice that we are missing A, we're missing C, so we're missing two sides, and we're missing an angle. So I think the easiest one we can do is to solve for the angle, because recall that all the angles of a triangle add up to 180. So B, you add 56, you add 90, you should get 180. All right, so to solve for B, I'm just going to take 180, subtract 90, subtract 56, which is 34. So we know B now. So angle B is 34. Now, we want to solve for either A or C. Let's say if I want to solve for A first. A, notice that we have the angle, we have the opposite, right here. So A is the adjacent. So if you want to use the angle, the opposite, and the adjacent, we have to use tangent, because we know that tangent is the opposite over adjacent. So what I have is 28 over A. Okay, so how do we solve for A? We can just play it around. So if I multiply A over here, then A would be 28 divided by tangent of 34. Okay, so we have to use a calculator for that. So I'm going to take 28 divide by tangent. Oh, by the way, make sure your calculator is in degree. And you can tell, so if you have like some weird number, it looks right. So 41.5. So A is 41.5. Okay, now solving for C. What I have for C is, so C is the hypotenuse. So we can use opposite over hypotenuse. So in that case, it's sine. So sine of 34 is going to be 28 over C. So C is going to be 28 over sine of 34. All right, once again, I'm going to use a calculator for it. $50. So C is 50. Okay, so we have completed the triangle. We have all the sides, all the angles. Moving on to number 24. So 24, we have a point on the terminal side. They want you to find cosine, cosecant, and tangent. So first of all, we have the point. We need r, right? Because don't forget, we need x, y, and r. So I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem for this. So I have negative 5 squared plus negative 6 squared equals 61. Okay, so r is the square root of 61. Now for sine, for cosine of theta, we have y over, we have x over r. X over r. So it's going to be negative 5 over square root of 61. Cosecant is r over y. So it's going to be square root of 61 over y is negative 6. And then I have tangent. Tangent is y over x, which is negative 6 over negative 5, so it's just 6 over 5. Okay, the next problem, I have the angle in Q2, and they are giving you cosine of theta. Okay, so cosine of in Q2, first of all, the reason they want you, they give you Q2, so we know that in Q2 is going to be a negative for x and a positive for y. That's very important because when they give you cosine like this, we know that cosine is x over r. So r is always positive, and then they have the negative there. So we know that the negative is going to be for x. Okay, so from there, we're going to figure out y. So y is going to be square root of r, which is 4 squared, minus negative 1 squared. So y is square root of 15. Okay, so make sure y is positive because we're in Q2. So y is positive. So now what they're looking for cosecant is r over y. So it's going to be 4 over square root of 15. You definitely can rationalize it. And then they're looking for cotangent. Cotangent is x over y, which is negative 1 over square root of 15. Okay. All right, moving on to the next one. They give you the angle in Q3. So in Q3, what do we know? We know that it's going to be negative and negative. X and Y, both negative. Cosecant, we know is r over y. R is always positive. So you see that we have 4 over negative 1. Okay, because don't forget cosecant is given here. Of course, they say negative 4, but you should know it's negative 4 over 1, and y is the negative 1, not the r. Okay, so from there, we're going to solve for x. X is going to be square root of r squared minus y squared, which is 15, square root of 15. However, it's going to be negative 15 because we're in Q3. Okay, so what are they asking you? Tangent. Tangent is y over x. So y over x is negative 1 over negative square root of 15. So it's just turned into positive. They also ask you for cosine. Cosine is y over r. I'm sorry, x over r. Which is negative square root of 15 over 4.